I'm Quin.
Hey, I'm Ami Mercury.
And we are finally back together doing a Fetish Models Discuss.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy that series and we haven't done it together in a long time. And here we are. And we're going to talk about my latest hyperfixation, Hazbin Hotel.
Yeah.
Do you want to start us off? Because it's your fault.
It's my
this
fault.
has happened. That this has become a thing for me. So, do you want to
I'll
start us off? Yeah.
So, Hazbin Hotel, I remember catching the original pilot back when it was still just like a Kickstarter project that took off. Back in like 2019, I watched just the pilot episode. I've always been a big fan of animation, so if there's some new animation, especially if it's something indie, I want to see it. And then I was surprised that it got greenlit by Amazon Prime to be made into a full show, and the series came out like it's been about a year ago now.
I think it came out in January actually this year.
Pretty.
Because I remember, because at the time I was really, I still am really, I was really into like Baldur's Gate 3, and people kept comparing a character in Hazbin Hotel to the vampire elf Astarion, and I was like, what is this ugly character that people are comparing him to? What the fuck is this?
Because the designs are so
yes,
stylized.
They're sassy blondes that have drama, and that's actually how you were like, hey, this does actually, and you gave me like a mini story of what this is, and I was like, you know what, don't tell me anymore, I'm gonna watch it. And I have always loved musicals. I got really into Broadway stuff when I was like in high school, and but for like the last decade or so, nothing's really resonated with me as far as musicals go. Like I just kind of listen to the same shit that I've always liked. So this was kind of perfect for me, like because the musical is so fun. Like I love the music. How many times am I gonna say music today? I like the tunes. They're fun and cute, and the characters are just awesome and over the top, and it just hit me at the right time. Like I think any other time I'd be like, what is this?
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'm having so much fun.
It's a really interesting combination of the fact that it's a musical, it's also animated, it's very adult oriented, and also deals with a subject matter that I'm kind of subversive subject matter involving religion, and that I'm surprised this combination of factors got put together and then got greenlit for like a major studio. So like an indie project, a lot of indie creators are open to try experimentation like that, but the fact that Amazon Prime decided to take this on as a project is, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But surprised nonetheless, because I would say like 10 years ago, nothing like this ever would have taken off.
The other thing is, like, I hesitated to get into it at first because I didn't realize it. Like, I thought it was like a kid like somebody showed like the very beginning where like when the character of Charlie is talking about like the backstory of Adam and Eve and Lilith and all that stuff. Like, so I don't know. It's just it was a scrolling through the internet and somebody was like, I can't believe they made this, and I thought it was directed at kids. So like I was a little creeped out, like, but knowing nothing. And then you were like, no. Like, this is supposed to be for adults.
Yes.
Which, that's great. But, I also remember being young and getting into South Park. So.
Well, we all, like, watched The Simpsons. We watched, I knew there were, growing up, there were a lot of other, like, the people my age that their parents wouldn't let them watch The Simpsons. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons.
So you were among
I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons.
At first I wasn't, then my parents were like, this is really good. Like, okay, you can watch it. You can watch it.
So for anybody that's under a rock that doesn't know what the show's about, why don't you explain it ever so briefly?
Okay.
What this is.
So the premise is hell is full. And how they deal with hell being full is that there is a purge once a year from the angels come down from heaven and just eliminate souls. And they just go poof. That's it. So this is how they do population control in hell. So our main character is Charlie Morningstar. She is the daughter of Lilith and Lucifer. And so this kind of princess, this wealthy heiress, but she's like this Pollyanna character, always sees the good in people, very positive. She wants to start a hotel that rehabilitates souls so they can go to heaven. So rather than just dealing with overpopulation by getting rid of people, they can be rehabilitated and go to heaven and, you know, spend eternity in pleasure. But
they have no idea how to do that.
Yes.
Like, it's just kind of like, oh, well, and everybody just thinks she's kind of nuts, and some characters, like the character, Alistair, the radio demon, like, just kind of is there along the ride to help, but also to be like, I just kind of want to watch you fail.
Yeah.
We don't quite know why.
Like, what's his purpose,
but
really?
He's fun. There's also a porn star character named Angel Dust, and he's super fun. He seems to be a big fan favorite, too.
Yeah,
like, his little song is, like, the most popular, I think, on whatever music streaming. I'm not hip to things, but I keep seeing, they're like, oh my gosh, it hit, like, a bazillion listens. And I'm like, well, good for them.
And that's how I got her into the show.
Yeah.
Because I said, this character, Angel Dust, reminds me of Astarion from BG3. I think you will really like him.
I did. So I was like,
really
I want to cosplay as him, too. So that's a thing that we're going to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a couples cosplay.
Because my favorite character is Husk, who is voiced by Keith David, who you might recognize as Goliath from Gargoyles. So I've always loved Keith David. I like his acting. I love his voice.
He's such a great voice. Yeah.
And he does well in the part. Husk is this sort of cat bird-like creature. It's very stylized, the cartoon character. They don't look like people.
It's weird.
Okay?
When I first started watching it, I was like, it kind of hurt my head because the background, like the characters look so weird, and the background is a bit loud. So it's like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
But it's once you get kind of used to it and you figure out like, oh, okay, these are body parts, these are things. Like, a lot of people are sinners that are like also become like kind of demons, but they don't look like just regular humans or whatever.
Right.
Like they've transformed a bit. Like it's neat. I don't quite. I kind of want them to explain stuff, but I really don't. Like, I kind of like that it's...
leave it open.
Yeah,
Trust your
I hope
audience
season
to...
2, because season 2 is already done. They just have to, like, animate it, I think.
Yes, finish it, yeah. But, so I was telling about Husk.
I'm sorry.
So the character I want to cosplay, he's a bartender, and at one point he was a gambler, and I don't want to give too much away, but... that leads to a lot of his character development. And I really like Husk because he's sort of this wizened character that is snarky, but you get this element that he's wiser than people give him credit for because he's such a grouch.
Yes, and there's a really cute scene where Angel's kind of having a bit of a breakdown, which makes total sense because of what he's going through, but he's kind of like having a little bit of a pity party, and Husk kind of is like, you know, some argue maybe his method is a little harsh, but it also like pops Angel out of his self-pity and realize like, well, we just go on and things can go better if we're together. And so we kind of like them as a couple.
Yes.
And some people do too, some people don't. But whatever. We want to cosplay them as a couple. And that's kind of like the plan. I don't know what a timetable for that, but that is the idea. And
we'll
also, I have the perfect hair for it. So.
Yes. And I have the shop space now.
Exactly. Your awesome creature laboratory that's going on is really great.
It's new.
Yeah. So like we're fetish models and we're talking about this. Like it does have like some, like I said, because Angel Dust is a porn person, and so like it's, you know, they kind of have like some of that. There's a lot of a lot of stuff that could be quite fetishy in the show, and it's I would never have thought, like you said earlier, never would have thought something like this would
get made.
Yeah.
I love the show, but I love cartoons. I love animation. But the problem with American animation is when you get adult-oriented cartoons, there are things like Family Guy or The Simpsons. And don't get me wrong, I love those things too for what they are. But to have a serious, ongoing story instead of just like this episodic thing that's concluded every at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
I'd like an ongoing serious story that has adult themes, but I still like the look of animation. I still like the feel of it. So I think this is interesting. This is probably something that's come along with the millennial generation of us still really enjoying cartoons, even as adults.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is just kids stuff. So it's like you can, like, it's not. It doesn't have to be.
I think anime helped normalize that, honestly. You know, millennials kind of made, were the ones that sort of made, anime more popular in America, I think.
Sure.
Or at least let's just say in the Western world.
Yeah.
So I think as a result, anime's become much more normalized in American culture. And because of that, because in Japan, cartoons or anime they have shows for all ages, from kids to adults, from every, it can be little bouncy magical girl dramas, or it could be like sitcoms.
Yeah.
So things for a variety of ages. And so I think that's interesting that this is, Hazbin Hotel is kind of, maybe this will launch other shows like that.
Yeah. It is also worth mentioning, like, you have not watched it yet, but there's a sister show to Hazbin Hotel called Hell of a Boss, and it's, like, in the same universe, and it's on YouTube, like, it's specifically put on YouTube, while Hazbin is just on, is through Amazon. So Hell of a Boss is a little more, they can get away with more stuff, I guess. Maybe. But like she hasn't watched it yet, and I really, it's funny because it's like she made me watch this one thing. No, I'm gonna get her to watch the other thing. And you'll probably be a bit surprised at how clowny it gets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I feel like I had a lot more to say, and you kind of took over this, but it's totally fine. Because no, it's totally great. Because I'm like, I think we covered it all. But yeah, it's really fun. If you haven't watched it, maybe give it a try so you know, like, what the heck I am posting naughty pictures of all the time. If you follow
give it a watch.
On social media.
It's a great show. It's entertaining. I love the style. The animation is beautiful quality.
Yeah.
And, the songs are fun.
Yeah, we'll see what season 2. I'm nervous for season 2.
Like, you just never know these days.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. So we'll see. I think it's going to be awesome, but I found, like, that's kind of why I just stick to stuff that I liked before, because it's safe. I know I'm going to like it. I don't have to get, like, my heart destroyed when something is no good. But anyway, this was fun. We definitely want to get together to talk more stuff, and we have some fun plans ahead, so, like, stay tuned. And where can we find you these days? Because we haven't had you on in a while.
Yeah.
And you're kicking ass with that stuff lately. Where can we find you? I'll put it all in the description, but like you can say it now. So.
Well, I have a YouTube channel of my own now.
Yeah.
Professional Monster Amy, where I post my cosplay and creature creations. That's something I've started within, I've always done cosplay in some shape or form for the past 10 years, but the past year I've started focusing more on creature creation. I make my own prosthetics and, have upped my game, upped my cosplay game. So you can find my YouTube channel on here, follow along in my cosplay adventures.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. We'll see you eventually.
Yeah. Bye.